did these lines. We did a variation of them. We did some exercises with vertical, horizontal, diagonals. Didn't really even touch the curves, but there's so many exercises you could do just the same way. Top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, and variations of somewhat circular or curvy, wavy lines. Shapes, we just did circles. The next one I want you to think of, we've done a lot of already line work with horizontal verticals, so I want to go to diagonals. And for that, we're really just dealing with triangles. And the combination of lines we can do, same thing. I'm visualizing a line now, and I'm thinking of an angle. So one of the things I recommend here is thinking about a clock. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then everything in between would be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. If I'm going here, say it if you know it. It's like 7:30. 10, 11:30. So you get the idea. I'm thinking, obviously you can think it in the proper way, which would be 90 degrees, 0 degrees, 45 degrees, and so forth. But I just want you to pick an angle, ghost it. So you're thinking of direction, you're thinking of angle, and also you're going to be thinking of the length of the line. So this first one I'm going to make that angle, that long. Without moving my paper, I want to practice. But I want to make sure I have an angle. So I have an idea of the triangle that I want to create. So I'm going to go in this angle here. So I'm almost at 5:30. And I'm going to just deliver that line. And how would I close this one out? Well, I'm going to go from here to here, or can I go from here to here? It begins to get more and more comfortable, so I'm going to go from here to here. So I ghost it, and I deliver my triangle. How many variations of triangle can we come up with? Look, here's one more. I can actually draw a vertical line. I can draw a horizontal line. But in order for me, oops, switch it over 1 second. There we are. So, here we are. We're back. I just did a vertical line, horizontal line. Remember the grip, still. Most important thing right now. Holding the pencil, how we're holding it, the pressure we're putting on it, and how we deliver these lines. So for me to make a triangle, the only option here is to connect these two. Even though I used vertical, horizontal, I have to bring in that diagonal. Connecting those angles now is going to be the work. And how you ghost the line and then how you deliver the line, don't be so tough on yourself. It's practice. If you're ghosting it and then all of a sudden, whoop, it comes out as a curve, live with it. Fine. It's beautiful. It's a shape. It's one of those quirky triangles in the family of triangles. So live with it and just visualize, maybe think about pace. So I'm going to work a few more, and I'm thinking of angles. I want to do an interesting one here. Almost a vertical and almost a vertical. And then just connect. If you're feeling, I could do this. I could go kind of ghosting the whole shape as one instead of individual lines. Go for it. I feel like I lose my sharpness at the points because it's jagged, so you want that kind of finish of line so they connect at the point. But if you want to test it all in one, as one motion, you could do that as well. We could fill in some of these spaces and maybe use one of these lines that's already there to close out this one. I'm thinking of wider angle now with a little shorter, narrower angle, and close it out. I'm going to go down here, make one almost, well, not almost horizontal, but close to it, and almost horizontal. And then this one actually has to be horizontal. So you begin to realize, all these interesting variations of what begins to look like shapes in space, because we're kind of delivering one of the big markers of perspective. There is no perspective without diagonals. And all these triangles begin to point us, is it coming towards me or is it going away from me? So let me do one more. Let me do even sharper. And I mean sharper, more horizontal angle here. And what I want to do here is longer. And then connect. And there we have it. So I begin to have all these interesting, I can overlap. And how many variations can you come up with? At some point, find yourself, think about that clock. It helps. Let's think about, you know what, I haven't done 2 o'clock. Let me do 2 o'clock. So that would be right about here. And let me do 10 o'clock. So it's right about here. And then decide how long and then close it out. And then let me go to, let's say 5 o'clock. I haven't done that right there. And let me think about, so 5 o'clock, could be that way. And in a way, you're doing 5 o'clock. It's the same as if you were doing 11 o'clock in a way. And I'm going to do, let's do 2 o'clock again. Close it out. What other ones can I come up with? I want to do another 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock horizontal. But this time I'm not making a vertical. I'm going to make it, actually let's make it wider. And then close it out. And I want to do another variation of that one as well. So horizontal. And now I'm going to make it sharp into it. And a little longer. Why not? Way longer. Let's make it way longer. And then close it out. So remember, angle and the length of it. You could just pick 1 or 2 and do it over and over and just shift angle and size, and you're going to have completely new shapes. What else can we think of? Now, if you are good at geometry, you have an advantage over me. All these, I know they have names, but I don't want to distract you with having to name them. Whether it's rectangle or isosceles or, you know, what I want is the U triangle. Insert your name and that one. That's it. Because it has those properties that we recognize that you came up with. And if you haven't felt it yet, it's not something you look for. You just let it happen. Your creativity just taking over. And when you look at your page, you'd really, really want to give it a little time, a little space, step back, look at it and go, oh, wow. Look at all the other shapes that are coming in even within the overlap. So I never intended to do this, but as I did this triangle and I used this same line, when I did this one, guess what? I had this one show up right there. Interesting. So I don't know if I did that subconscious, and I don't know if it's happening in another way. So where two triangles touch, I could just close this one out, and what used to be space is now another triangle. So the beauty of diagonals, the richness of it, and what you can discover, look at this one right here. They just come and pop in, show up, and it's just logical. You're going to have that happen when you're working with this many diagonals. So this overlap, immediately you have another one within that one. I could begin to add juxtaposition. What does that mean? I could put a triangle behind. Behind this one. So you could see it there. I just interrupted the line, but all of a sudden I have a triangle that's juxtaposed over another. And that's another beautiful place. So I didn't just overlap it. I just got rid of this line right there. And there we have it. Beautiful play of lines, looseness. Still, focus is here. How we grip, how we deliver, motion, and then letting creativity loose. That's the goal.